Gus, come. Sit. Sit. Lay down. Good boy. Now, what Gus and I just did is typical training that you see often with owners and their dogs. But when it comes to prisoners, it means much more than that. This type of bond between a dog and an inmate has proven to help rebuild the prisoner's psychological state. Aruba Dog Academy, Animal Rights Aruba, and Kia has collaborated to start a pilot project for shelter dogs and inmates. Tito Leclerc is a certified dog trainer who runs Aruba Dog Academy. He adopted the idea for inmates to train shelter dogs from the U.S.
What we do is basically a normal training. What we do when we have a normal situation for an obedience training, what we do is to basically guide them. We turn them into kind of a pack leader, where they get to know how to deal with dogs, how to deal with patience with the dogs, how to make the dogs respond to certain commands. And because of dogs being so different each one, they need to be very creative, and they learn how to better understand the dog. And by doing that, they resolve their issues also again.
The sessions take place outside of Kia twice a week, 2 hours at a time. In 5 weeks, a graduation ceremony will take place for the dog and inmate. Tito says you can already see a difference with the prisoners after the first session.
We had a first session with them where they got to meet the dogs the first time, and you have this stigma that inmates are bad people, they are criminals, they are thieves, and their appearances always give you that impression. What we saw is the first day already, they changed dramatically their way of being. They became human beings. Not they're not, but their way of being was much more soft. They were cuddling the dogs and things that they would normally not do. So in the first training already, you saw them use a different sense of their abilities to deal with the dog, so that the dog would obviously respond.
What you are seeing here is the type of training conducted in the U.S., which Aruba has adopted. The inmates' patience, creativity, and anger management is tested through the trainings. For instance, when a dog disobeys, it can be seen as rejection. This allows the inmates to rebuild themselves before getting back to civilization. Besides for the inmates having something to look forward to every week, the project is also beneficial for the shelter dogs.
It's a win-win situation for all of them. The dogs get socialized, re-socialized, get that attention that they never had. It was very interesting to see the interaction with between the inmates and the dogs. They got to choose them based on the looks, based on the feel, and it's amazing how the expression of the inmates was so dramatically different than what they used to be. And this is what I got from the inmates, from the Kia people. They're like, wow, look at their faces. They really make a difference.
By the end of the project, both sides achieve something.
The reason that I did is because we have a problem with the dogs in Aruba, shelter dogs. Shelter dogs are usually in a shelter because of a problem. They were either abandoned, beaten, or people couldn't take care of them anymore. So they have a situation. This way they get a training, they go back to the shelter, and having a shelter dog that is trained versus a shelter dog that is not trained, they get adopted easier. And that's the win-win situation for the dog. The inmates, they develop issues, they get trained in the issues that they had a problem with, and by the time they get out in the world again, they have already taken care of those issues, and that is their win-win situation, so that they benefit from that also.
Kia's psychologist chose 4 inmates, and Animal Rights Aruba picked out 4 dogs. They were each matched up according to physical and character attributes. That is it for Gus and I for today. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back here same time, same place tomorrow. Well, he won't be, but thank you. See you then.